welcome to News 6. Today the show is brought to you by the 6th grade at St. John Lutheran School in Napoleon. Our program features interesting learning experiences, and here's Gary to tell you about a special history lesson.
Those interested in the age of our grandfathers can find out what it is really like at the Sauder Museum near Napoleon. The museum was started in 1971 by Mr. E.J. Sauder. Mr. Sauder explained to News 6 reporter Ken Sonnenberg that he had a specific reason for starting the museum. He said that many children came through his factories each year and saw only machines at work.
I thought possibly we were giving our young people the wrong impression with our automatic machinery, and especially to the children. And children had better learn at the age of 6 that life is rough and hard, I mean to make a living, and better than to learn it at 26, you know. So I thought if we could have a museum and show to our young people what our fathers did and how they worked, the grandpas and grandmas and great-grandpa and great-grandpa, how they had to work to make a living. And they lived. And I'm sure they enjoyed their life just as much as we do.
To demonstrate the jobs of old, Mr. Sauder has built on the museum property a woodworking shop, broom shop, barber shop, pottery place, blacksmith barn, weaving demonstration, leatherworking shop, general store, a Lutheran church, schoolhouse, and residential houses. This year, which was only the second of operation, 72,000 visitors explored the era of the late 1800s. Mr. Sauder is helping kids to a different kind of education. They are learning about a time when, according to Mr. Sauder, life was a lot of elbow grease. Education of a different sort can be found at Napoleon Spring Works. Owner Ed Oberhaus keeps an unusual collection in a storage barn on his property. He could probably teach you anything you wanted to know about Cadillacs because he collects them. I talked to Mr. Oberhaus about his extensive collection. Why do you collect cars?
Well, I started a number of years ago when I bought the first Cadillac. Was in 1960, which our rural mail carrier had on Route 1 at Napoleon. And it was a 1960 Cadillac 4-door, and I bought it at the time for $100, and I thought it was a good bargain. And it needed a drive shaft bearing, which cost $16 installed. Our son installed it for me, and so for $116, and now it's gotten to the point that I own 29 Cadillacs.
Mr. Oberhaus said his favorite car is a 1939 Cadillac convertible, once owned by Chicago baseball owner Wrigley. His oldest car is a 1924 Cadillac Opera Coupe. Most of his cars are licensed and all are in good condition and drivable. During the summer, Mr. Oberhaus drives a different car every day just to keep them in running condition. Mr. Oberhaus said he has this hobby for fun, but it is also an investment because the cars get more valuable every year. He has several cars that can now be classified as antiques, and he intends to start taking them to car shows.
Napoleon kids have to go to the Sauder Museum to learn about the old days and to Mr. Oberhaus's warehouse to learn about his cars. But they can stay right in their classroom to learn about farming. Farm Bureau field worker Linda Meyer comes each year to Napoleon classrooms. 6th grader Amy Sue Cruz found out why.
What is Farm Bureau?
It's a farmers organization. It represents farmers all over, well, it's all over the United States.
Why are you interested in going to various schools?
Well, this slide program is kind of to promote agriculture and show children primarily what goes into farming. So you kind of get some of the idea of what farmers have to do, what kind of weather they work in, and things like that.
Mrs. Meyer shows slides and brings samples of grains, vegetables, crops, and animal food as demonstrations of farm life. All the samples she brings come from Napoleon's Henry County. Amy Sue had one final question for Mrs. Meyer.
Do you like doing this?
I love it. I enjoy it, doing it with the children. It's interesting. We had the first year, we had them write letters to us what they thought, and I'll keep those forever. They're just beautiful.
The farming life that Mrs. Meyer talks about is kept free from harmful insects by using crop dusters. A crop duster is a person employed by a farmer to spread insecticides from a special airplane. News 6 talked to Mr. William Hinton, a local crop duster. Mr. Hinton said his job is very important, for insects can destroy a crop overnight, and sometimes because the fields are wet, a farmer cannot reach his farmland by tractor. Crop dusters are also hired to spray ditches in the summer because mosquitoes lay their eggs in ditch water. Mr. Hinton says his season is fairly long because farmers need him from early spring to late fall. But right now, during the winter months, a crop duster's plane is idle. And now here's Becky to tell you about some locally famous people.
Our room has a celebrity. He is Daryl Bearman, a 5th grade student in our classroom. Daryl's claim to fame is that he grew and owns a pumpkin that is 74.5 inches in circumference. Daryl won 2nd place in the Great Pumpkin Contest held by our local newspaper, the Northwest Signal. Daryl received $15 as his prize. To get it to the competition, Daryl had to take the pumpkin in the back of a pickup truck. The pumpkin is so big that he can even sit on it. The other famous person in our town is not well known across the nation, but everyone salutes his work every day. Napoleon Mayor Bob Heft designed this country's 50-star flag. He designed the flag for a high school class project. 109,000 other designs were submitted, but Mayor Heft won. He told News 6 reporter Teresa Grunhagen that he designed his flag before Alaska was admitted to the Union, which makes the 50-star flag older than the 49-star flag. Teresa asked Mayor Heft about the competition.
What were the rules to the flag making?
Well, there weren't any real rules or anything like that because at the time I made the flag, it wasn't even a contest or anything like that. It was the reason I did it was political balance. Alaska was predominantly Democratic and Hawaii was predominantly Republican. So I thought if they would admit one state, being of one party, probably they would admit another territory to statehood to offset it politically, and that's the reason I made the flag.
Who did you first tell you won?
Well, I think probably one of the first people after I got notification from Washington was the school teacher that gave me the grade of a B- on it to begin with. He'd give me the grade of a B- and said it lacked originality.
In spite of his teacher's opinion of the design, Mayor Heft did win, and he spent 4 days at the White House and the honored guest of President Eisenhower before the dedication of his creation on July 4th, 1960.
We may not be as recognized for our handiwork as Mayor Heft, but we do try to be creative in some of our class projects. One of the most fun things we've done is called shrink art. The first step is to draw a picture on a styrofoam tray and then color it in. Then we cut it out and placed it in a small oven. Before our eyes, our design would shrink to 1/3 its size. Another project developed when we started studying scale models in science class. We decided to practice by making our own scale models. First, we did a scale drawing of each other. Then we progressed to drawing a scale or miniature drawing of our classroom. Finally, we made globes by taking 2 flat maps and mounting them in a circle. Later, we studied latitude and longitude on our globes. One other interesting classroom activity is viewing the home movies of Mrs. Margaret Meyer. She has been taking films of track meets, school picnics, and other school happenings since 1961. That is the type of education, too, to observe how things like hair and clothes styles change. Thank you for watching News 6. We hope you have enjoyed the program, which was presented by the 6th grade class of Mr. Donald Niebergall at St. John Lutheran School in Napoleon. Next week, News 6 will be produced by the 6th grade class at Lipsick School. Have a great week.